Some quality shirts in here, like.
Some quality shirts not in there as well.
Yeah, you must be good that none of yours are in here, mate. Oh, they've wrecked it now. They've just put a Sunderland kit in it. Oh, there's another one of mine in there, mate.
Oh, there's loads of yours in there, yeah. It's basically a Nike and Adidas book.
No, there's quite a lot of Kappa and Puma and like basically all the brands that you've also worked for. They just haven't featured any of your kits. Sorry, mate. Oh, no way. There's another two of mine. Total 90. Happy days. There you go.
There you go.
Do you know, I've got quite a lot of mentions in this as well. Oh, there's another one just to round it all off. Ronaldinho, happy days. Sorry, mate. Oh, no, there's a whole page of them. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It'd be great if the book actually finished on one of Rob's.
No, it doesn't. There's none in there.
No, acknowledgements.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
I'm is. Yeah.
Is it?
No. That would have probably pissed him off, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Kit Breakdown. Today we are going to be talking about how to bring insight into kits. So through the voice of the fans, how do we create product through a design lens that ultimately brings in the fans to what we actually do on the football kits themselves. So I'm going to ask Rob to take us through some fantastic kits that have been supplied to us by Subside Sports, and he's going to talk through why the designers have designed them the way that they have, and maybe some of the hits and misses that you can maybe see on the table around us. So without further ado, Rob, take us through it.
Thanks, mate. Interesting that you've used the turn of phrase voice of the fans, because that's actually the name of the unit in our course at Spark Design Academy that goes into this as a detail. So a great designer will always look into the depths of the details and understand about the local culture, whether that's from a national team or from a club team, and bring some of those elements into the kits. If I think of what brands have done in the past, particularly Umbro were really good at it during that period of Tailored by Umbro. Even before I got there, the guys were already doing a fantastic job of just looking into little things they could put onto kits that made a difference, and just felt it was a if you know type of signifier.
Sorry to interject, but do you think back in those days, because you're right, because we always used to look at like the England kits, for example, that Umbro used to do, and we're like, wow, how do they get so many details on it?
Yeah.
It was only like fast forward, maybe whatever it was, like 5 or 6 years later, when I was actually working for Umbro with yourself and we were looking at the England kits. At that time, I didn't have that luxury. I'd been given a price point. There was only so much we could do. And I think if you've seen any of the videos where I'm talking about the England away kit that I was fortunate enough to design, I started with the fans in mind, which actually worked out quite well because I didn't have the cash that we basically had on previous England kits. So a lot of the fans back in those days were like, well, how on earth can we not have it as detailed as the last time? Or, you know, because we had that, I think it was Beckham who was the picture boy at that time for the reversible kit that England had. There's no way you could get that amount of detail on. But the point that I was trying to make was simply when we started working for them, we realised that Umbro weren't really making any money out of those kits. Literally
it was all based off selling a lot of volume of them. Where I think Umbro moved on to from there with the team was just looking at what are the small details. So quite often things that need to be on a kit. Yeah. So you've kind of already paid for them. How do you make those feel really relevant to the club, the players and the supporters? And what we tend to see now is a lot of that work is really only done by or only done on a big scale by smaller brands and with smaller teams. Obviously, part of the nature of that is that smaller brands can only really afford smaller teams. So that's why those two seem to marry up. So if you take the Bayern Munich kit, for example, that we've got here, and it's one I'm not really a fan of. I don't like
the way. Divided opinions.
I don't like the way it's been deployed. I've seen people on social media saying that the panel on the chest area just looks like Santa Claus's beard against the red background. The official press release says that the front of the shirt is a large, powerful, dynamic M for Munich to illustrate how the club really, loves being from Munich, the capital of Bavaria, and so on. It just feels very direct and obvious once you've been told it's an M. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that, but why has it been created in that particular style? What's the rationale for it? Compared to a couple of the other shirts that we've got on the table, where there has been a lot more thought go into it. So you've got one of Bayern's fellow German clubs there, FC Augsburg, who, whilst the shirt itself isn't as striking of a design as the Bayern one, when you understand that this was actually designed by the fans, and it really was, where quite often when you see options put to the fans for a vote, quite often it's already decided. Sorry to kind of break the news on that one, but the fan vote doesn't necessarily hold as much weight as you would think. With this one, it was a fan design competition. They had over 2,500 entries, and this was one of 11 that were put to the club's members who did vote on it, and that was the winning jersey. So with that there, although it's a very simple approach to the design, it's still something that was designed by the fans, for the fans. I think going a step further with the Greenland jersey that I've got here from Hummel, which is an interesting one because if for no other reason than this one was made in China, whereas a lot of Hummel's kits are obviously made in Turkey right now. So I'd be interested as to why they've chosen to make it out there. But the thing that's really interesting with this is the level of detail that's gone into it for such a small nation as Greenland. I can't imagine the number of units they sell of this is especially high, so it would be easy to just phone it in. But they haven't. They've developed a deboss on the fabric, which is where a hot roller is applied across the roll of the fabric and creates this pattern by punching it into the material. So what's on here are a few alternating rows of, as I'm sure you would recognise, we've got some tupilaks and some takuks on here, and I hope I'm saying those right. Anybody from Greenland or from the Inuit culture, if I am offending you in any way, please hammer me in the comments. So my understanding is that the monsters that you can see in the stripes are more of kind of an Inuit mythological monster, which is supposedly created by witches and warlocks. And then the spearheads are kind of reflective of modern day masculinity. And then the detail around the neckline is very traditional for Inuit clothing in Greenland and within the Arctic Circle. So there's a lot within there that makes it a nice shirt, but which also goes into a few layers of detail. I saw the pattern, had to then do the research. It intrigued me, and then I had to do the research to go deeper into why it was there, which I think for me is a really important thing particularly for a national team, that you can tell a story around that country and unveil things that perhaps the rest of the world wouldn't know about it.
Yeah. Well, I think my point of view on that would be absolutely the same. I mean, we talk all day how important storytelling is when it comes to kits, and how what the fans don't sometimes realize is, as designers, we have to come up with narratives and stories that we actually pitch these into the federations or the football clubs. So you've got to have a narrative behind it, and it may feel like at the end it's just a load of gobbledygook and just give us a great looking kit. And you've got to keep that in the back of your mind as well when you're designing it.
If you like what you've seen so far on the kit breakdown and you want to learn even more about what goes into designing football kits, then head over to sparkdesignacademy.com today and sign up for our course, 7 Steps to Designing Like a Pro. In that course, you will learn everything from research through to the presentation of football kits to professional brands and clubs, and you can follow in the footsteps of not just me and Craig, but some of our previous graduates who have designed for national teams, clubs, and we've even got people at some of the biggest brands around the world. So if you like the sound of that, you want to be a part of the sportswear and football kit design industry, sparkdesignacademy.com is the place to go.
Not only that, Rob, but you can also learn how to build fantastic presentations with our presentation skills course. So it's one thing being able to design something, but if you don't have the right presentation to put it out there, it's not going to fly. So head over there now, sign up to sparkdesignacademy.com. What you waiting for? Get your career on track right now. But the thing that I would say, Rob, is what's really important is you've got to understand what the fans want. You've got to give the fans what they want. You've got to give the clubs what they want. You've obviously got to give the brands what they want, which is ultimately revenue. But we talk a lot about the 3-second sale. And I think this was what also Rob was referring to the Bayern Munich shirt. You know, visually, it looks quite striking. It's very different, but that 3-second sale has divided opinion.
What do you mean when you say a 3-second sale?
Well, a 3-second sale, and it's probably even less now when you think of social media, the attention span of a consumer is pretty much 3 seconds.
Love it or hate it.
So you either love something or you hate it. So as a designer, we're always looking at things through the eyes of exactly that. So do I like it from first glance, or is it something that's going to grow on us? So the car industry works in exactly the same way. Does the car look great or doesn't it look great? You know, a lot of people have slated, for example, the Tesla Cybertruck. It looks absolutely disgusting. I've been looking at it for absolutely ages now, and it's still disgusting. So I'm one of those people who is probably never going to fall in love with it. However, you know, you do have things that grow on you. So I think that's important. And while I love the narrative behind that Greenland kit, there is an element of it for me that's just that little bit too much for me personally.
Obvious as well.
Too obvious. The storyline's too in your face. But then your example before of this particular kit, you know, the Augsburg one, for me, I love the storyline, and as much as we've captured the imagination of the fans, I mean, I'm sure that the 37-year-old bloke who's done this, who will try and get on the show at some point. So if you are watching this, we'll get you on the show and we'll ask you to talk through it.
I think he might actually have been 39, so he should be flattered that we've just de-aged him by a couple of years as well.
So well done to you, mate. That's a bonus. But I mean, it's a great looking kit. I could be really, you know, picky and say there's certain elements of it that I would look to improve, but it's a great looking kit, and it's pretty much got that 3-second seal. And it's a great story.
I would disagree there, though. I think I wouldn't have featured that as a shirt without knowing the backstory. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think that's where there is that line to tread between the story's just hidden.
Yeah.
It's completely versus like with it being in the fabric was all right. The bit I don't like is
the pajamas down the side.
Yeah, contrasted down the side.
Yeah.
Well, the Bayern one's too love or hate for me.
Yeah. Well, what for me, this is just simply, you know, my love of sashes. And I love a sash on a footy kit, and I absolutely love their crest. And what's really beautiful about this crest is just the level of detail that's gone into it. So for me, that's that. I mean, look, is it the best kit in the world? Absolutely not in a long shot. But as a guy that's designed it, he's got it on the back of a football team. He may have been trained, he may not have been trained, he may have even done our courses, who knows? But yeah, that's where my head's at. But some of the other kits that you've got going on here, is there anything else you'd want to talk about?
The other one I want to talk about really is a missed opportunity, because sometimes you get really, you know, Greenland is an unusual team to be able to design for. But, you know, if you think from a topical perspective right now, to be able to create something for Palestine would be absolutely amazing. And as much as, you know, there are plenty of points of view around the situation in the Middle East, I'm not going to go into them here.
It's not a political program.
Yeah, you can check out my Twitter profile to understand some of my thoughts around that stuff. But purely from a design perspective and thinking about the national identity of Palestine, you know, people have asked me before, which team are you most proud of designing for?
Yeah.
And my answer is all of them, because whatever the size of team, country, whatever else, it means the world to somebody. So for me, it's not about I'm most proud of designing for Italy winning the World Cup or for Man City winning the league or whatever. It's every team, really. And I think with Palestine, you've really got an opportunity there of a country that, you know, is maligned in some quarters, is under attack, you know, in other quarters, depending on the point of view. Kelme have paid the money to put a print on the front of this. And unless I'm missing something, and I did research around it to try and find out, I don't know what this represents. Is it supposed to be a goal net? Is it, you know, divisive fencing in the region, which would be a horrible thing to put on it? I hope it's not. Is it just a random pattern?
I would take a guess that it's probably their national cloth through, like headwear and all that sort of stuff.
I've not found any, so get in the comments if there's anything there that you can throw any light on. This would be amazing. But I think there's potentially such a rich story to tell, and not necessarily a political story, but you know, there's thousands of years of history in the region that could be brought to life through this. There's more to Palestine than just, you know, the war situation. And it's just I feel like Kelme have really missed a trick. Yes, there's the Arabic text on the back. But what else could this have been? We've used the colours of the flag and whatever else.
Yeah.
You know, great.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. In as much as they've definitely hit the post. And I think with a kit that's got such a spotlight on it, there's an opportunity to have created something that could have been, you know, like a legacy piece, if you like, right here, right now. And that if it was just a great looking kit, I mean, how many kits have we seen over the years, and we're like not even supporters of them, but we've bought the kit.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and that is a perfect example. There's an opportunity to have bought that Palestine kit, but I'm probably not going to, you know, separate with my money for that.
No, exactly.
Unless we know, obviously, all the proceeds go to a cause, and then I probably would. But the point that I'm getting to is it's not got that 3-second sale. It's effectively a white T-shirt that we've had to research, and it's got a pretty poor badge execution on it. So just purely seeing this from a design perspective, yeah, I agree with you. I think they've totally missed an opportunity there just to create something really quite iconic.
Exactly, and that's what we talk about in that unit of the Spark Design Academy course, is how to go into that level of detail, how to look for the added value that's going to make it meaningful to the fans, or the you know, in this case, the citizens of a particular country. But then also to drive those additional sales. Something else that we talk about on there is video gaming, and how most young people's interaction with football and football kits now is through the Xbox and the PlayStation. So having an amazing kit with a visual is important, because people will use it for their team on the video game. I'm not going to name it because they get enough advertising as it is. But you know, there's so many reasons why doing a great job and creating something amazing is important, and none of those reasons have been met through this one, unfortunately.
So if you like what you've heard today, Rob's given us such a great insight around how you can create products that take on the fans' points of view, and how you design into all of the club history and so on and so forth. We've talked about the 3-second sale. But if you want to learn more and hear more about all of that, then get yourself over to Spark Design Academy, where we will teach you all the do's and don'ts about working in our fantastic industry. And with that, we'd like to thank Rob for his expert opinion today. If you like what you've seen, like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon on the Kit Breakdown. All the best.
There's no way I'm going to be able to pronounce what these things are called.
What are they called?
I can't pronounce it.
Well, but ask it to tell you how to pronounce it. You can do like a Google thing, and it'll tell you. How do you pronounce this? And then it should give you a voice recording. This is golden TV, by the way. Rob's actually got stumbled on how to say something.
I don't speak Inuit.
Yeah, it's only called Iceland City. Struggling with it. Is it Iceland?
No, it's Greenland.
Greenland.
Mm.
Oh, have you got it yet? Oh, yeah, man. I'm fucking roasting you.
Well, no, that's why I'm enjoying it.
I'm going to end up having to put a football kit on at this
I
rate.
did know how to pronounce it. Tukakare and Tupilak.
What is it?
That's the Tukakare.
Tukakare.
As I'm sure you... I thought you would have known that.
To be fair, I think Alex did a good job of it then.
Spearhead. And the Tupilak is a...
Tupilak.
Which is in Inuit culture, it's a monster that's created by witches and things like that.
But do you know how to pronounce a football team's name?
Greenland.